All right, we have a challenge today, folks. I am going to tell you about my 20 must-have, can't-be-without products from Sephora in 20 minutes-ish. I'm going to try to make it under 20. It's probably going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 20. That being said, because I'm trying to keep it short, I'm not going to talk super in-depth about any of these products. If you want an in-depth review, I guarantee you I have talked about every single product in this video at least once, probably multiple times in other videos on my channel, so go feel free to check out other videos before the sale starts if you want more information. However, this is just a quick rundown of the things that I think are the most worth picking up from the Sephora sale. Quick caveat before we get started. You guys know, if you've been on my channel before, that I'm a huge Pat McGrath fanatic, okay? I love Pat McGrath. However, I do not recommend buying Pat McGrath during the Sephora sale. Max discount you can get is 20% if you're VIB Rouge, and Pat McGrath runs 30% off on her website all the time, like every major holiday, every minor holiday, sometimes just for funsies. She's running 30% off on her website. So you can definitely get a better discount on Pat McGrath pretty much year round. Okay, I don't want this intro to be too long, so let's get into it. We're starting with complexion products. Primer, my dry girlies. As you can see, she's been well loved. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. If you are dry, you need this. Very pricey product. The sale takes some of the sting out of it, and as you can see, I thought it was worth it. I have a backup of this sitting in my drawer. I love this so much. This is basically just an uber rich moisturizer, and it makes your makeup look smooth, beautiful, flawless. I love this. If you're dry. If you're oily, this is going to be way too thick, way too creamy, but the dry girlies must. For a foundation recommendation, if you've been here literally even once, you probably already know what I'm going to say. NARS Light Reflecting Foundation is the best foundation I think I've ever tried in my life. It's lightweight, it's a little bit dewy, but it still has incredible lasting power. It's just, my skin never looks more flawless than when I wear this foundation, and it's one of the longest lasting foundations in my collection. Period. The best thing, must have, again, especially if you're a dry skin type. For a concealer pick, my acne prone girlies, this one is for you. NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This stuff is magic in a pot. I do not know how they get it to be this texture, but something about the almost moussey texture of this concealer literally creates a blurring effect over any imperfections. We're talking acne scars, active acne, pores, age spots, according to my mom. I don't have any yet, but she says it works amazing over that too. Any kind of pigmentation or texture that you want to smooth over or cover up, this is going to do it, and it's going to do it amazingly. I absolutely swear by this, and I use it almost every time I do my makeup. Speaking of things I use almost every time I do my makeup, I have run my mouth about this powder incessantly on this channel, but I'm going to say it again. The Kosas Cloud Set Powder is literally like a filter in a powder. I am not playing around about this stuff, you guys. This literally, if I just don't really vibe with something about how my complexion looks, it doesn't really matter what it is. Texture, it's a little too shiny. It's not quite shiny enough. It's just not really all coming together the way that I want it to. If I take a powder brush and dust this over my face, it fixes the problem. The problem is fixed. Whatever the problem is, it doesn't even matter what the problem is. It's fixed. I literally look like I put a filter on my face every single time I wear this stuff. I am obsessed with this. You can see how much I've flattened out that baked dome top. When I run out of this, I will be purchasing another one immediately. I'm literally considering buying a backup during the sale. That's how much I love this. If I could give you like my top 3 from this video, this is in there, no question. Setting spray, I'm gonna let the bottle speak for itself. The Milk Hydro Grip Setting Spray. As you can see, I love this. I already have a backup sitting in my drawer. This makes you dewy, it makes everything melt together, and it has incredible lasting power. I love everything about this setting spray. Let's do eyes. I have one brow product in this because I get most of my brow products from the drugstore, I feel like. Either that or it's stuff that I got from like subscription boxes or like the old school brow products that we all already know about. You guys know about Benefit Precisely My Brow, you know about ABH Brow Wiz, you know those are all great. I would like to, however, put in a word of recommendation for the Kosas Air Brow Brow Gel. I do not have the tinted one, but I am considering picking one up during the sale. But I'm a big fan of clear brow gel. This is something I use on a day-to-day basis. This is not even remotely crunchy. It's not sticky. It's not going to come off in flakes. and it's not really going to give you that laminated brow effect. It's not going to stick your brows to your face. It's just going to give them a little bit of hold and a little bit of definition. That's what I like in a brow gel. This is perfect. So I have 2 eyeshadow palette recommendations, but technically it's a lot more than 2. So first things first, I've been absolutely loving the Patrick Ta Major Dimension palette. I have the original one. They also have like a second rosier one and then an all matte one. Assuming that the formulas in those 2 are the same as the formula in this one, I will happily recommend those as well. But I am a true neutral girly, and this just checks every box I want in a neutral palette. It even has these little cream shadows down here that are super pigmented and blend amazing. So yes, the Patrick Ta palette really is that girl. The other ones are probably just as good. From what I've heard, they're every bit as good. I can 100% vouch for Major Dimension 1 though. My other palette recommendation is technically not a single palette. It is the Natasha Denona palettes. I recommend the minis for sure. If you've never tried Natasha Denona before, I would definitely start with the minis. I will quickly show you the ones that I have, and I'm gonna hope that it doesn't take too long. I have the Mini Nude, which is one of my favorites, but I broke mine. Absolutely stunning if you're a warm tone neutral girly like me. I have the Mini Retro, which is a favorite of mine because it is very unique. I have the Mini Love, which I'm not 100% sure she sells anymore because I got it on sale for like half off, which they usually do when they're discontinuing stuff. The Mini Biba, I love that shimmer shade in the center is everything to me. And finally, the Mini Zendo, which is very fun and unique. However, if you've already tried Natasha Denona and you know you like her formula, or you prefer larger palettes and you don't really like minis, I highly recommend the midi palettes as well. That is the 15 pan palettes that are, I think, $70, and they have smaller pans than her larger $129 ones. I will show you all the ones that I have. This is the Zendo palette. Very beautiful, more color than she normally does. My all-time favorite, the Retro palette. If I could recommend you just one, I would recommend you this one, especially if you have green or blue eyes. It has every texture and formula of Natasha Denona shadow all in one place. If you're a warm tone neutral lover like me, the Bronze palette is also an absolutely incredible option. It has every shade of gold and bronze and delicious metallic goodness you could ever want. If you're looking for something a little bit more unique, the Retro Glam palette is like nothing else I've ever seen before. This is the most unique palette in my collection. I have absolutely nothing else like it. And the formulas, again, are incredible. And finally, another one for the neutral lovers, the I Need a Nude palette. This one has some really fun new textures from Natasha that I don't necessarily think she ever came out with before this palette, or at least not until recently. Absolutely gorgeous for my cool toned and more true neutral lovers. I have 2 recommendations for single shadows. First things first, surprising absolutely no one, the Urban Decay Moondust shadow in the shade Space Cowboy. If you like a glittery topper shade, look no further. This is the one of your dreams. It has ultra micro fine glitters in it, so it just really creates that like amazing wet look shine in a way that I've never seen another shadow do. I love ColourPop Ritz, I love Ladybird, I love a lot of the Super Shock shadows, and I've tried lots of other glitter toppers as well, but none of them have the ultra fine glitter particles that this one has, and I really do think it's special. I think it's worth it. The other single shadows I would recommend are kind of a cream formula. They come in sticks. They are the KVD Dazzle sticks. The lasting power on these is absolutely incredible. You kind of tap them on the eyes, they dry down, and they stay there. They do not budge. They do not crease once they're dry. They have a super thin, almost watery, cooling type of formula. I have 2 shades, and I will show you just how unbelievably glittery and sparkly they are. So this gold one at the top has a little bit of a green flip to it, and that is called Electro Bolt. And then the bottom one is more of a pinky topper shade that also has like bluish reflex in it, and that one's called Hail Surge. Beautiful topper shade for any neutral look. I'm telling you, they dry down so well, it's already taking me like actual effort to wipe those off my hand with a makeup wipe. Finally, for eye products, again, this will not surprise anybody who's been on this channel before. The only high-end mascara I think is really worth your time that they sell at Sephora is the Rare Beauty mascara. I never have to work less when I put mascara on than when I use this. I swear, 1 coat for the day-to-day, 2 coats for extra glam, and my eyelashes are fluffy, long, black, volume, everything I want in a mascara, this does it, and the mini is only $11. So when you add the sale to that, it's literally like less than a drugstore mascara. Love this. I buy one of these, I swear, every sale, just to have backups of it. Moving on to cheek products. I only have one bronzer recommendation. It's a cream bronzer. Most of my powder bronzers are from the drugstore anyway, but the cream bronzer that I want to recommend to you guys is the Makeup by Mario SoftSculpt Skin Enhancer. I have mine in the shade Light. You guys, this is crazy. It's just this beautiful, super thin, balmy formula that adds such like a natural tan to the skin. It blends right into whatever makeup you're wearing, and honestly, you could probably wear it without makeup because it has that super, super thin, balmy texture. It gives you this almost slightly dewy, warm glow. I cannot say enough of good things about this. Ever since I bought it, I have been absolutely obsessed with it. Blushes, you already know I'm gonna have a lot to say, so I'm gonna move fast. You already know the Patrick Ta blush duos are like my ride or die blushes. You get a cream and a powder. The formulas of both are absolutely immaculate. This is the shade She's Blushing. The powder is a little bit shimmery and the cream is a little bit thicker with a little more substance and pigment to it. I also have the shade She's So LA, which is like the classic shade that everybody on the internet was talking about. This one is a little bit different from She's Blushing. She's Blushing came out in the second round of releases. She's So LA came out in the first round. This one has a little bit more of a matte blush. It has a little bit of a satinness to it, but more matte than She's Blushing. And the cream is a little bit more of a thin balm and a little bit less pigmented. So in terms of which one you'd like better, kind of depends on what you're looking for in a blush formula, cream or powder, but the formulas in both of them are absolutely excellent, and I use these obsessively. A more recent cream blush favorite of mine has been the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin blush in the shade Rosé and Brunch. The thing that amazed me the most about this was the lasting power. Cream blushes can be pretty hit or miss in terms of how well they last. This one, I swear, blends like an absolute dream, is a beautiful shade. I'm sorry that swatch is so bad, but it's an absolutely gorgeous shade, blends like a dream, and then, holy cow, it dries down to a powder matte finish and then stays exactly as pigmented as you put it on all day long. Usually for me, blush is one of the first things to fade, but if I'm looking for something that's gonna last all day long, I'm reaching for this every single time because I know it will. Finally, I have one powder blush that I want to recommend to you. This is the BareMinerals Blonzer. I have mine in the shade Kiss of Pink. If you like kind of more neutral toned, glowy blushes, these are it. These are the thing. I love the amount of glow that this gives to the skin. It's not super shimmery. It's just the right amount of satin sheen. I love the color of Kiss of Pink. It is perfect to give the like sun-kissed look to my fair skin, but they have several other shades that I think would do the same thing for other skin tones. But if you're fair like me, Kiss of Pink is gonna give you that I was just out in the sun, somewhere between burnt and tanned kind of look with just the right amount of sheen to it. I could go on and on, but this is amazing. I really want another shade, actually. Let's talk highlighters. I have two powder highlight recommendations for you, one that's relatively old and one that's relatively new. My older pick is kind of a classic, Benefits Cookie. This is just a top tier highlighter. I mean, truly, it is that kind of icy pink type color, like icy pink champagne. And if you're fair like me, oh my God, if you love to glow to the gods, Cookie is the moment. It has not one shred of glitter in it. It is truly just nothing but pure glossy shine in a powder product. Don't love the deep box packaging, but honestly, I can look past it easily because the formula of this is just so incredible. I am looking at my cheekbones all day long every single time I wear this. The more recent option and kind of the more trendy option is the Rare Beauty Pressed Highlighter. I love this so much. If you're a gold highlighter girly, the shade Exhilirate is currently my go-to gold highlighter. This one has a little bit more of a super, super thin, like baked gelée type of texture. So it glides over the skin absolutely effortlessly. It is also really versatile. You can blend it pretty far out to be a little bit less intense, but if you build it up, it's gonna be crazy, crazy blinding. The one thing I would say about this one as compares to Cookie is that it has a little bit more glitter in it. So if you are super anti-glitter and highlighter, you probably won't like that one as much. However, as you can see, both of them are just wildly shiny, but I think you can also tell that Cookie is that super smooth sheen, and the Rare Beauty has a little bit more of that PC glittery look. It's not super glittery, no glitter fallout, but it does have a little bit more of the particle shine, if that makes sense. Okay, I think we're doing good. Finally, let's talk lip products. First things first, I want to talk about a lip liner and also plug that the Sephora Collection products are all 30% off for the whole sale, no matter what tier you are. So whether you're Beauty Insider, VIB, or Rouge, you will get 30% off the Sephora Collection. And the Sephora Collection lip liners are one of the best lip liner formulas I've ever tried. They're crazy creamy, super long lasting. They dry down and they stay forever. And they're already pretty affordable. I think they're $13 each. And for 30% off, you're getting a crazy deal. I have 3 shades right now. I will definitely be picking up at least one more during the sale, but I will quickly show you the ones that I have. Those are the shades that I have of the Sephora lip liners. The top one here is called Hot Sauce. This middle nude one is called Dress to the 90s. And this kind of taupey pink one is called Sinker Suede. I love all of them. I use all of them all of the time. I pretty much always have at least one of them in my purse. Really quickly, other honorable mentions from the Sephora Collection because it'll be 30% off. The Best Skin Ever Foundation, the 12-hour eyeliner pencils, the ones in like the silvery packaging, the Outrageous Plumping lip glosses, and the Micro Smooth Baked powder. All amazing. Would recommend any of them, especially at 30% off. Back to the lip picks. For lipstick, I've been really into glossy lips lately, and so I'm sure it's no surprise to anybody that I highly recommend the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. These are so nice on the lips. Again, I almost always have at least one of these in my purse. I love all of the shades that I have, and I would 100% pick up more. I have 2 in the original formula and 1 in the plumping formula. The plumping formula is not at all overwhelming. It doesn't sting, it doesn't burn. It's just a little bit kind of minty. If that bothers you, the original formula is every bit as good. They really are pretty much identical, other than that little bit of a minty tingle in the plumping formula. These are the shades that I have. This top one is in the original formula, the shade Coconut. This middle one is also the original formula. It's the shade Grapefruit. And this one down here is the plumping formula in the shade Peachy Beige. Love them all. Would recommend any of them. Delicious, thick, nourishing, hydrating feel on the lips with a beautiful deposit of color. Need I say more? And last but certainly not least, I am once again plugging the Tower 28 lip glosses. These are only $16 full price, so on sale, I mean, seriously, that's almost drugstore pricing at this point with how drugstore prices have gotten. That's pretty much drugstore pricing for these. I have 2 of the lip jelly formula, so the original glosses. I have the clear shade, which is chill, and the red shade, which is spicy. These are a little bit thinner in texture, almost like a lip oil, really. They're super, super thin, really nourishing and hydrating on the lips, though, and very shiny. And then I have 2 of the milkier formula, which has a little bit more pigmentation, a little bit more substance, but still no stick at all, really thin, really nourishing on the lips. And I have the shades Almond, and my favorite shade, if I could recommend one shade to you from the whole line, the shade Pistachio is the perfect nude pink, goes with every single look. I am constantly carrying this. So Tower 28 lip glosses, specifically though, the shade Pistachio. And I heard that they just came out with a shimmery version of the shade Pistachio, which means I might have to be picking up another Tower 28 gloss during this sale. Whew, okay, that's it, you guys. Those are my 20 Sephora must-haves that I recommend you pick up from the sale this spring. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know, are you shopping the sale? What's on your wish list? Do you want to try out anything I mentioned in this video today? And if you want to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you. Until the next one, bye, you guys.